What's going on, YouTube family? Today we're going to be talking about how to properly inspect a used vehicle. Whether you're a dealership and you're buying 4 or 5 of these things every single day, or just a regular person, I'm going to show you all my tips, tricks, and some of the tech that I use to make sure I save money and buy the right vehicles, but more importantly, how I come up with appraisals and actually figure out how much the vehicle is worth. Now, I've bought and sold cars for over 20 years. I made a lot of mistakes, so I want to share a lot of those with you. But more importantly, I tell everybody there's a saying in the car business, you make your money when you buy the car, not when you sell the car. And that is 100% true. So I'm gonna be giving you guys 3 different examples, everything from a daily driver to an exotic to something that's customized so you guys know exactly what to look for and what to stay away from. So if you're a dealership that's buying and selling cars every day, you're a wholesaler, a flipper, or just somebody looking, I always recommend an inspection sheet. This is a great way to keep track of exactly what to look at, and this also helps you out when it comes to negotiating. You can list every single little thing wrong with the car because when you're going to do negotiations, you want to come with facts, not BS or lowball people. This will also help you keep track of exactly everything that's wrong with the vehicle because remember, you want to check every window switch, every lock, every button to make sure because everything you find wrong is money off the vehicle. Now, the next thing I recommend is an actual selfie stick. This is very important. As a dealer, I know you guys are wearing suit and ties and the service bay can't be busy crawling up these cars and putting them on the lifts. All you do is extend this, I put it underneath the car, I film it, I see if there's any damage, make sure the catalytic converters are there, if there's any major oil leaks. Once you pull it up, you review the video, you can get very quick, simple answers, extremely fast, without having to crawl on the ground or put it up in the air at a shop. So if you're a regular person or if you're a used car manager, this is definitely a must. The next tool that I highly recommend that you have to have is a scanner. Now, if you don't got $7,000 to buy a scanner like mine, I recommend you using Appraisal Pro, that's today's sponsor. This will plug in directly to OBD2, and not only will it give you the information on the vehicle, but it'll give you future service, currently what's wrong, how many monitors are pending, check engine lights, and give you a full report, which we'll go into here in a little bit. But you want to know the exact status of the car when it comes mechanically, because we're going to talk about how that's the biggest mistake that people make, and this is what costs them the most money. So the very first thing I do with the inspections is I talk to the customer. I get all the information like how long have they owned it, what kind of history that's been done, were there any type of accidents, because you want the customer to paint the best picture they can of their ownership. And then on top of that, once you get all that information, next you're going to move on to the actual vehicle history report. Whether it's Carfax, AutoCheck, or whatever you use, this will hopefully verify what the customer tells you or possibly expose them for lying about something else. I've had tons of people come into my dealership and say, hey, I want to sell you a car. I've owned this thing for 3 years. It's in great shape. I serviced it every week. But then when you run the Carfax report, it's been hit 3 or 4 times. The mileage has been rolled back and he's the 10th owner. So this will help paint a picture of exactly what you're working with and find out if the buyer is actually being truthful. So now that we got the Carfax in hand, let's go ahead and start our inspection with the Audi. Now, just for fun, we're going to say that this particular Carfax says it has damage in the front end. So that's the first thing we're going to check. So the first thing that we're going to do on our visual inspection is to check out the previous damage or whatever either the customer said or the Carfax. So just for the example, I'm going to say that this car had front end damage. The very first thing we're going to be doing is looking at the fit and finish to see if anything is off. After that, we're going to look for overspray, any type of color discrepancy between both panels, looking at it all the way around. We're going to look at the actual quality of the repair. We're going to see if they used factory parts. Some of these badges actually still have Audi logos on them. Are they something that's aftermarket? That can kind of tell us the tale of exactly what's wrong. So with any type of damage, whether it's front end or rear, you want to see the quality of the repairs. So as we can see, the trays are all in line. We have the factory stickers here. All the panels are matching up. Next thing I'm going to do is look in the corners to see if any of the seam sealer has been disturbed, which it doesn't look that way. Everything seems to be setting in the correct place. You always want to take the extra time and do that inspection if the Carfax says that there was accidents on one particular side. But now that we got that covered, one of the things that I love to do when I'm doing an outside visual inspection is to mark off all the places that have issues. So there's a few small scratches on the front bumper. I always recommend this is why you have your sheet, because you want to mark these things down, because every time you mark something down, this gives you leverage when it comes to negotiating. So we're marking every single little dent, every little scratch. We got this one right here. Back in the day, I used to have a grease pen and I would mark these visually just to show the customers how much damage is on their car. And so all of a sudden, their things would be polka dotted all over the place. Now, one of my friends uses these highlighter stickers. They sell them at Home Depot. You just put them right on there. Every time he finds a dent or a scratch, he notices it and he puts it on there. I like to put it on the sheet because once we get down into negotiations, I want to have it right in front of me. So as we're looking at this, once again, we're looking at fit and finish, making sure everything lines up. You know, you look at the wheels, make sure there's no damage, there's no curb marks, anything like that. So as we walk around, we can tell that this car is pretty clean. It's got a few small dents and scratches that we want to make sure we notate. But besides that, overall, this car is in pretty good shape. So now let's do an inspection of something that's different. Doing a visual inspection of something with a lot of aftermarket parts is a little bit tricky, but at the end of the day, you're gonna get these things popping up in your dealership, so you need to know how to inspect them. So the very first thing I do is, are the mods tasteful? Because remember, in the car business, the more mods you have, the smaller your buyer's group, the less people that want it. So you have to write it up like that. People will say, oh, my car's got all this cool aftermarket stuff. If it doesn't really make out the money, it's not really worth it. So this smart car's got 30-inch tires. I can tell they're in good condition. We're looking at the suspension here. You could tell that it's good quality aftermarket suspension. It's not something that's been Mickey Mouse. That's something that if you see that in aftermarket cars, just run. It's not worth the headache or the liability. It's better just to walk away. But as we walk around the smart car, we can see that some of this stuff needs to be done. So like right here, we're gonna mark this off because I did cut the fenders to make the wheels fit, but this is body damage now. So I have to disclose that to the customer. The bash bar is gone along with the skid plate, so I have to make notes of that. But as you can tell, this car is a little bit different. So as we go over this in the inspection, you want to make sure you notify every single little thing that's been done to the car, along with what the customer told you, to find out the correct vehicle value. So when you're doing a visual inspection on an exotic car, a classic car, or something that's really rare, the very first thing you need to do is do as much research as you possibly can about this particular vehicle. Now, especially with Mercedes G-Wagons, the fit and finish is actually really bad on some of the older models. Also, these things come with portal axles. They're very expensive. A lot of people don't know how they work, but you need to look at these certain things. So when it comes to inspecting these cars, you gotta do the research to make sure that you know exactly what you're looking for so you don't lose a lot of money. So next we're going to be doing the mechanical inspection. Now, this is the most important inspection that you're going to have to do on a vehicle. Now, this is where you're either going to make all your money or absolutely lose everything. So it's very important that when you first look at the car, you do a visual inspection of the engine bay. You want to see if there's anything loose, anything leaking, anything wet that you see in there. On top of that, check the oil, check the transmission fluid. If it doesn't have dipsticks, you can do it through the computer or through the actual inside infotainment system. Next, you take your selfie stick. Remember, you extend it out, you put your camera on there, you put it underneath the vehicle, and you double check to see if there's any leaks underneath the car, if there's any type of wetness, because a few gaskets and seals can cost you a lot of money. Now we're going to go ahead and scan the car, and I'm going to show you where most people make the biggest mistake. And this is where today's sponsor, Appraisal Pro, is going to come in and save you a lot of money. If you don't have a $7,000 scanner, this makes it very easy where anybody can use it. Now, most dealerships have a used car manager that's got decades of experience, but if you're a busy dealership or if you're a wholesaler, car flipper, or just a regular person, I know you guys don't have that equipment. But with this particular OBD2 reader, you can plug this in. I'm gonna show you the reports of what the car is gonna pull up, but more importantly, I'm gonna talk about how you're gonna get a free trial and get one of these things sent to you directly in the mail. So let's go ahead and plug this in. So now that we scanned the car, let's go ahead and check out the mechanical health of this vehicle. Now, the great thing I love about Appraisal Pro is it not only gives you the current codes that are stored, but also previous codes, so you can match these up to see if there's any problems that are reoccurring. Now, as we look at this, there are 9 codes on the scanner. We have ignition coil, D, E, we have exhaust valve solenoid circuit, control valve solenoid circuit, and camshaft position sensor. I'm going to share all this on the screen. So even though you're not a mechanic or you haven't been buying cars for a lot of years, Appraisal Pro makes it very easy to digest this information and figure out what you're looking at. So if we scroll right below the codes, there's going to be a section in green called Confirm, Fix, and Repair. This is very important. This is what's going to help you give out a correct price when you're buying the vehicle, because this is going to give you a few estimates of exactly what it's going to take to fix this vehicle. Now, we have 3 recommended repairs. The first one is our engine wiring harness with coil circuits. We're looking at anywhere from $987 all the way up to $1,100. Right beneath that, we have replace ignition coils, D and E. Estimated repair is anywhere from $716 to $888. And right below that is camshaft adjustment solenoids, bank 1, bank 2, estimated repair anywhere from $1,300 to $1,700. Now, you could add these onto the bill showing the customer, hey, these are some of the things that need to be repaired. And best thing is, Appraisal Pro is the third party. So it's not like you're taking it in the back of your shop or you're doing anything crazy. This is something that they can access themselves, and you can print this out in a very nice, easy to digest form to show them when you're buying the car. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and click on this one just to show you a little bit more about exactly what it's gonna say. Now, when it gives you the cost breakdown of the first estimate, it'll give you, once again, the dollar amount, but more importantly, the parts breakdown as
as well as labor. So this way you could show it to the customer and also know yourself to expect what it's going to take to get this car done correctly. So this way you could bid it correctly. Because remember, you don't make your money when you sell the car, you make your money when you buy the car. And you want to make sure that you take note of all these things so you can give the customer the right price when you're buying the vehicle. So as you can see, you don't have to be a master mechanic. You don't have to be buying cars for 20 years to figure this out. All you need is a cell phone, the dongle that they're going to send you for free along with the free trial, and you could be diagnosing cars just as quickly as this. So this way you don't buy the wrong vehicle and you start saving a lot of money.
Now let's go ahead and move on to the next inspection, which is the interior inspection. So we're starting on the visual inspection. Obviously you want to look at the condition of the interior, see if there's any rips, any tears, but more importantly, you want to test every single little button. This is critically important. I always tell people this is where you're going to find the most savings, because if both of these window regulators are bad, each one's about 350 bucks. So you're looking at over $700 just for the smart car, which is crazy. Make sure the mirrors work. We want to take our time. We want to test the climate control. AC is always a must. You want to check these things, check the radio, unlock, heated seats. Because remember, everything you find wrong is one more thing you could check off on your list that'll help you bring down that price. And remember, we're only talking to the customer about facts when it comes to their vehicle. So that's when we give them a price, we're not BSing them. So like I said, it actually behooves us to do as much research as we can to find as much wrong. Now, overall, this car is in really good condition. The Mercedes is in good condition. The Audi is in great condition. So usually after we do the visual inspection of the interior, next we move on to the test drive. So when I'm driving down the road, I like to make sure that nobody's around, and I'll go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. This is letting me know how tight the suspension and the steering is. Also, we're listening for any type of wheel bearing play. Now, as we're going down, we're going to be doing some quick stops with the brakes. So if you want to brace yourself, okay, no grinding, no vibrating, everything seems pretty copacetic. Next, we're going to do a hard acceleration, which is as fast as we can go in the smart car. All right, so this lets me know the transmission is shifting smoothly. We don't have any hesitation with the hard acceleration. You want to make sure, once again, that we drive this till it gets to operating temperature, because if there's any type of transmission problem, it's going to show it when it's operating temperature. When it's cold, the oil is thicker, it has more pressure, and so you'll see people try to sell their cars with the slipping transmission during the daytime or when it's really cold. Now, when it comes to test drives, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. I tell people, drive it till you feel comfortable enough that this car gives you the right type of feeling. Does it feel mechanically sound? Do you hear a bunch of weird rattles from weird places? Does it give you any inclination that there's something wrong? That's usually what will tell you what's bad with the car. But as of right now, the smart car is pretty solid. I mean, I put all new bushings, all new axles, all new suspension in this thing, so it's pretty solid. But overall, if you don't know the history of the car, you want to try to drive it for at least 10 minutes. That should give you an idea. City streets is important because this is when the car is going to act up. If you drive it on the freeway, believe it or not, your car is not trying as hard. All right, let me do this one. So now that the car is up to operating temperature, we're going to go ahead and do another really quick stop. All right, so even though the brakes were cold, they were good. Now that they're warm, I don't feel any vibration in the rotors, so we're good. I don't hear any wheel bearing problems, nothing that's vibrating, nothing that's shaking. Operating temperature is good. Transmission is shifting smoothly. The exhaust note is actually opened up, so now we know that this car is basically ready to just send out on the road. And of course, we got to save the best for last. So when you're test driving a vehicle, you always want to drive over a few small bumps to make sure that you don't hear any rattling in the suspension. So now that we've done a proper inspection, I'd love to know any of your tips or tricks, if you guys can leave in the comment section below. But if you've done your inspection correctly and you've listed all the things that were issues with the vehicle, this will help you when it comes to negotiating, and that's finally where we're at now. Now, I tell everybody, you want to use a sheet definitely use Appraisal Pros as well. And this will give you all the information and the ammo you need to get that customer down on their price. Because everybody that comes in trying to sell their car will always tell you it's perfect. But if you have a good list of everything wrong on the outside, everything wrong mechanically with it, with a third-party report that's from a neutral person saying, hey, your car has these issues, this is what it's gonna take to fix it, and here's the overall health of your vehicle, that's all it's gonna take for you to get a few dollars off that vehicle. So I wanna give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Appraisal Pro. Make sure you check them out in the link below, and you can get your free trial and get one of these dongles sent to you. You guys are gonna love this thing. Everybody's gonna be basically an Appraisal Pro with one of these. Once again, thank you guys for watching the video. If you have any tips or tricks, once again, leave in the comment section below, and we'll see you next video.